Welcome to a very special play test of For the Ball, a Descended from the Queen game. I'm your host, Dr. Emily Friedman, and along with a hearty group of my dear friends, we've created this beta version of the game just in time for virtual Jane Con. In what follows, we'll walk you through the instructions that begin every Descended from the Queen game before showing you what the game is like in actual play. Finally, we'll show how you can help contribute to the development of this game as we move forward. And we'll take some live Q&A after this pre-recorded presentation. So let's get started. It is a truth universally acknowledged that any single person in possession of good fortune must be in want of a spouse. You may or may not agree with this, but here you are, at a ball. You've been invited by the host, male or female, or beyond the binary, young or old, or somewhere in between. They have invited you here. You are welcome to look through the host cards for inspiration, and that is what you see in front of you, is all the possible hosts. And we will select one that seems right for the group. And we will keep it on the table to inspire our story. We will set aside a card that reads, "The host is insulted. How do you react?" And then shuffle the rest of the prompt cards and place them face down in center of the table. And that is the mechanism we'll do in Roll20. And then once we've read the instruction cards, we will continue clockwise with the prompt cards, which will ask us different questions. And then London, I think you've got the rest of the instructions that are all exactly the same.
When you have read the instruction cards, continue clockwise with the red, or I guess blue in this case, or is that?
They'll be red.
Red, okay, with the red prompt cards. Take turns reading the questions out loud. Interpret these questions and answer them however you wish. Other players may ask you questions or make suggestions on your turn, but whether you answer those questions or include those suggestions is entirely up to you. Place the X card somewhere everyone can easily reach it for safety reasons. If you encounter a card or an answer that you don't want to be included in the game, tap the X card. That content is removed from the game. If you draw a card that is removed this way, simply draw another card. You can X a card that you drew yourself. You can also pass on your turn. To do so, give the prompt card you drew to the next player and say, "I'd like to hear your answer to this question." A prompt card can be passed around the table until someone applies the X card to it. Continue answering, passing, and Xing questions until the host is offended.
Yes.
Card is drawn. The host has been insulted. Card is drawn. Each player should answer that question in turn. Then the game is over. Whoever wants to can draw the first prompt card.
So first, before we do that, we need to pick a host. And so these are all illustrations from the Welcome Center and from the Lewis Walpole Library. They are handsomely in the public domain. They are a combination of real and imagined 18th century folks. Some of them are well known to 18th century nerds, and some not at all because they are metaphorical representations. Don't ask me who that guy in the monocle is. I got nothing.
Yeah, but he seems the most suave. He's got a monocle.
I don't know, man. They all just seem like such potential.
I'm so glad. That's the key.
I think the one that really jumps out to me is the one that has a landing strip for shoulder pads. The one right in the middle.
Oh,
in the gold
wow. Yeah, no, that's...
The madam with the...
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I meant, yeah. With the guitar, lute.
Yeah, she's performing. She's got her whole thing going.
Yeah, she's very like, So just so the audience at home that's watching this knows, we are stretching the bounds of Austen inspired in a lot of ways. This is not just her lifetime. This is Austen would already be rolling in her grave. I'm pretty sure that is an illustration from the 1830s. Although our costume friends will know more than
It is a
than we
long
do.
18th century. That includes the Regency of Jane
So this is
Austen.
the second half of the 18th century into the early part of the 19th century, but not any further than that. We've tried not to go past, I think, 1850.
Yeah, it's not Victorian.
But yeah, no, those are some extreme puffy shoulder. No, they're landing strip. They look protective in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
That's a Saiyan armor right there.
Yeah,
Like a little-
Oh yeah.
that-
She's
And
at
is
least
that
Super Saiyan.
supposed to be a
3.
turban?
No, I
can't
think
tell.
is it a turban
a
or is it
hairpiece?
feathers?
I think like it's a hairpiece,
I
like a
think there-
headdress.
Is there
Oh.
space between it?
That looks like sausage junks.
Oh, or is it her hair? It's not a turban. That's some hair architecture.
What is happening? I have
This
That-
is
that
the
is-
one.
she went
This
to-
is the one.
No. I'll tell you what she did. She went to her local butcher shop and she said, make me a hat. And she's like, madam, this is a Wendy's. I'm sorry, this is a butcher shop.
Love it.
But
Love
he's
it.
like, nope, I insist. And then it's like that. Isn't there a thing like UK people like to do whenever like a coronation or some big thing happens and all of the royalty come wearing fancy hats?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay, let's see what kind of a hat they wear. I feel like this is a winner right there. Everybody's gonna be eyes on her.
Yeah, it's either that or like her two like puffs have their own gravitational pull. So now there's celestial bodies that are just orbiting. So
Right.
either one of those, up for interpretation.
Well, we might even have time depending on, how our game goes, because that this is a beta test, so we do not have a full deck of prompts just yet.
Ooh.
And we'll be talking in the Q&A about how people can contribute suitably inspired additional possible ideas to this deck.
How is that lady breathing?
She's an illustrated representation.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She
I know.
is clearly
That's her
singing
secret.
and playing during it, so that requires a lot of breath. So it is.
It's a training montage.
is kind of
No.
amazing.
The more that I think about it, the more these illustrations need to have some kind of explainer note.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it though.
Of
No,
like-
I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just
No,
loving it.
I
I'm
love
just
it.
like,
No,
Because some
Actually-
of them are people who I think would be good for us to give information on, and some are just like, what is happening?
Yeah, like this. We have. We have some famous people like Oh My, who is this dashing fellow who I wish we had a full color public domain image of. So if anybody knows, but Oh My was kind of a very famous visitor from the South, from the Pacific Island.
Yeah.
And was like the celebrity guest for the entire time he was there. Everyone who met him like wrote down like he is a very early celebrity in this
Yeah.
kind of ways.
And above we have Ignatius Sancho.
Oh, boop, 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 boop. Where are you,
Who
Sancho?
disappeared.
Don't hide. You wouldn't have
Who
hidden.
he's a
is,
handsome man. That is one handsome devil
Who,
right there.
in addition to being an abolitionist,
Oh,
formerly
speak to me.
enslaved, part of the Sons of Africa, who were formerly enslaved men and who lived primarily in London, and did not like slavery, and they were of course
Oh.
very vocal on it, and not so much of the centrist and meliorist types of like, I think we could do this gradually. They were more, no, it's
We're gonna kick ass right now.
Yeah, there's a great one-man play
Yes.
Patterson Joseph created for Sancho that he's done both in the States and in the UK, and there's a novel he's written that's coming out soon about Sancho's life.
That'll be
So
good.
he had to be in the deck. That was required.
Oh.
Yeah, I really like him.
We
I
really
love his
I
letters.
feel like you've really sold him.
He is
I don't know about
sassy
you,
in his
Anya,
letters.
but I feel like
So-
this is our guy.
Nice.
So pro, he also would potentially be having everyone play his own music, because he also was like he had the 18th century version of a SoundCloud. He published his own music.
Yeah.
Oh.
London's like, what?
This
Yeah.
guy is super talented, and I love
He's a
it.
SoundCloud artist and a grocer.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's pretty
so
cool.
it seems like as a warm up, we should start with our friend Miss Sausage, and then maybe
Yeah.
transition.
Okay.
Let's-
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we've got.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got 2 rounds in us.
Yeah, let's-
Yes.
Roll 20 technology is magic. We have an X card on this.
Ooh.
one.
We have the technology.
We do.
Sorry, lame joke.
Always a good
No,
one.
no.
No.
We are here for nerdy jokes. So keeping our sausage lady in mind, what we will do is you should all see prompt cards. They are the yellow cards on the right in our little display. And I think we will start. I put the order in Zoom, and I'll just get us started just to make sure that everything is working correctly. Ha ha!
Okay.
Ooh.
There we go. Okay.
Well, that looks good.
So Emily, what is the kindest thing the host has given you?
And we have gone for the lovely singing, lute playing.
We have gone for our
Sausage
spiky,
lady.
fashionable friend.
The kindest thing the host has ever given me was a singing lesson, because I asked her how she could have such like stamina and breath control. And she tried to explain it to me, but I still can't quite like get there. Like she's like no head voice. She's all just coming from the diaphragm up, and I don't know how that's happening.
What diaphragm?
Yeah.
Exactly. What
Yeah.
no,
I,
that's
you
a
know, I
follow-up
tried. She's just like,
question.
you just
What
need to like
diaphragm?
relax into it.
Follow-up question. What diaphragm? Nobody knows. All right. How have you disappointed the host? Well, I don't think her monkey likes me. She has this fully like cosplayed little monkey buddy with a remarkably large hat, and I don't kn- I haven't done anything to it. I haven't stepped on it. I haven't poked it, but it does not like me. It does not like me, and
For
that has
shame.
been a real disappointment to our host. He just
It's the litmus test of what a good person is. Do you make a monkey happy? You're a good person for the host.
well, in one of Emily and Mai's favorite novels from the period, there is a monkey that bites the ears of aristocrats.
Yes.
So in full
Oh.
costume.
I love that monkey. I love that monkey so much.
So
It's
you know,
also one of Jane Austen's favorite books
Mhm.
and authors too. So
London. How did you arrive at the assembly?
Oh, well,
It's you.
I arrived at the assembly in the company of the host.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has her instrument. I have mine as well. I am on the viol. So I am part of the band. I'm part of the entertainment for tonight. I keep the party going once our host sort of socializes, breaks away from the band after a little while, goes and talks and chit chats. I'm still up there playing all night long.
Nice. KP, how has the host been rude to you?
Oh boy, that's a great question.
Remember, you can also X or pass if you want to.
Sure. I would think that me as a artist, as someone who likes to capture the moment, who likes to visualize, and who delves in the visual medium of the creative world, when approached or had a conversation with our fellow host, was insulted by being told that I practice the lesser medium, that vocals and music is where the true creativity is at. And madam, you are so wrong. How dare? How dare?
Oh, wow. I love that we've round one, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're just following good examples.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah, no,
noted.
we've clearly got 2 teams at the moment.
yeah.
The ones who are on the in and the ones who are on the outs. Emily, why are you worried about the host?
I'm really worried that she's doing too much at this assembly because she's both the main event, the performance, but she also wants to smooth, like, and she's trying to just keep this high energy both on stage, but also going off stage. There's just so much happening. And like her monkey's starting to look stressed out too, which like I just stay out of the monkey's way. So we're neutral on each other. Like we just, stay out of each other's way, and that's been good. But that monkey's looking a little stressed, like it's too crowded, it's too bright, it's too loud. And she's really just like has so many things happening at once that she's trying to manage because she also has to control all of this. She can't just like let it go, right? This is about her, and she is going to manage it down to the smallest detail.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
Power of the diaphragm.
How would I ask someone to dance if I have not been introduced to them? Well, I wouldn't. I am first of all, I'm keeping a very wide berth of the monkey who's also making the rounds through the room. So that's putting a little bit of a pall on things. But I don't know, this crowd, there's something about this crowd tonight. I don't know that I'm comfortable like being in the middle of the dance at the center of things. I don't know. I'm getting a weird vibe. And then London. Oh.
Why
is your
what?
dance tonight?
My dance card?
You have not been invited to dance, but perhaps that makes sense.
Well, I have not been invited to dance tonight because obviously I'm on stage playing my viol, and I've been instructed to keep that going all night. I have to do that. I have to make sure that the monkey has its treats, which I have right here in my pocket. I forgot the treats.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Let me just keep playing.
Yeah.
I just keep playing.
That's your job.
Are we just gonna have a cranky monkey now? That's just he's just angry.
I
hope
love
not.
that we've introduced Chekhov's monkey.
Yeah.
KP, what makes the host beautiful to you?
Oh.
Oh,
Interesting.
love, hate. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Enemies to lovers, yes.
Oh. Yes, beautiful. I think what makes this host beautiful for me is, as an artist, I must capture even the most extremes of the world to show what's in my imagination. And looking at her, I don't have to imagine anything because all the weirdness is right there. And that to me is a very big muse. Just seeing her strange demeanor, her outfit choice, the usage of sausage links for hair is just, it's something about it speaks to me. And I hate that I love it. And I'm just observing her and the details, just trying to capture all that into memory so that I can go back and use that to create my next masterpiece.
The beauty in extremes. Love it. Love it. Emily, how did you prepare for this gathering?
Well, I drank a lot of water was the first step. I just, I gargled like a little bit too. I'm always like really afraid that since she gave me singing tips, she might want to call on it. And I just feel like that could just go wrong in so many ways. But I was like, okay, I need to hydrate. I ate beforehand, so I wouldn't be eating too much there. I basically prepared to like be as contained as possible at this party. I have a good layer of carbs, so if I drink, it's like going to soak in there. That's my logic. I do truly believe that carbs prevent drunkenness, both before and after, and that just takes care of everything. So I ate a lot. I drank a lot of water. and now I feel I'm just good to go for this
For
evening.
hours.
I'm not
and
gonna eat.
hours.
I'm not gonna eat in front of people because I was raised by one of those families where we don't eat in front of people because then they think of us eating, like in Mean Girls and all these things. So
I was like,
so I'm just gonna be you know, drinking alcohol, drinking the punch, drinking whatever you know, Madeira or you know is on hand, and you know, and I am thinking, you know, like the monkey and I have been on mutual terms, but I think it's used to me now. And I'm
Are you
starting to
plying
think,
the monkey with drink?
no, the monkey gets its own drink. I'm not going to stop the monkey from drinking. You know? Like I'm just like I don't stop the monkey from doing anything.
What chaos are we brewing here?
But I am like starting to think, like, do I want to try to bond with the monkey because it's looking stressed, and maybe a familiar person might help calm it down?
Is that a preparation question? Is it? Well, I guess it could be.
Well, no, okay. I sort of kind of went from preparing to my mindset there. Like it's preparing for this gathering, and apparently I am playing someone who is just constantly preparing as they go through life. They're never in the moment. They're just going like, okay, next move, next move.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
This is how the questions create character. How would I explain the grandeur of the gracious hostess without condescension? That's impossible. I'm full of condescension. But I would definitely lead with the architectural splendors of her hair and whatever she's chosen to incorporate into it. Speculation has been rife. I think there might be a betting pool at White's about what actually is in her head, as well as, you know, I think there might be a pool about when one of her shoulder pieces is going to cause some sort of violent incident. But definitely,
Has it not already?
the grandeur of proportions. You know, is all I can do, and but it's absolutely coming across with dripping with condescension. London.
mhm.
Oh, I think you have to pass this question
unless a change has happened.
unless there's been a change.
Let's pass. I'm going to commit to the story so far. I'm going to tap the X on this one. Or
Oh,
can
well,
I? Or
if you exit, it's out of the game entirely. If
Oh,
you pass it, it's to KP.
I'll pass it. I'll pass it.
And KP, you can keep it passing, and we can get rid of it, or once
Interesting.
everyone is passed, or you can jump on it.
I think I'd like to try and see how my artist friend would be. So I'm
Mm.
assuming like what would entice people to want to dance with me is the question, right?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. Why does everyone want to dance with you tonight?
I think it's just having this artistic grandeur. The what would normally come off as antisocial in this night would come off, I feel, as someone that is mysterious and
Mm.
aloof. You see him have this not deadpan, but just focused stare, just looking and observing people and observing things around him. And to him, it's just him trying to formulate what or create things and take inspiration. But something about that look, that intense, passionate stare out there, kind of intrigues people. And I feel like that is what makes them want to approach and perhaps ask for a dance, to get to know what's going on in that brain of his, even by the monkey. Something about it.
It's giving accidental Byron, and
Good old Byron.
right. Love it, love it. Emily, oh God,
Oh my God.
Emily, what surprising event has occurred tonight, and how did you react?
So as I was just sort of thinking about, do I want to approach the monkey? Do I want to socialize? I'll have another drink, and if I maybe counter it with bread, I'm going to be good. I'm looking at our lovely hostess. They are just, you know, mingling the music's going and it's wonderful, but she's now off stage talking to people. And I noticed part of the sausage-like things, but it can't be sausage. Falls off her head.
Fashion is a.
She does
fashion is a
not
thing.
notice it. I do notice the monkey go and grab it and just scurry off into a corner with it. And I think the monkey's nibbling on it. And my reaction is to go and get another drink. My plans of making friends with the monkey might not be happening, because then I would have to admit that I knew that this was happening. And I just don't want any of the monkey's eating part of her headdress.
So is she unbalanced now?
I don't know how it works. It's just like one of the things towards the back fell off and nothing else has moved.
Oh,
I don't, much like I don't know how she breathes. I don't know how this thing works. And I am so confused and so befuddled that, I'm just going to just walking away, not running, but walking at a measured pace.
Did she spawn a sausage?
I don't know what Eldritch horror is.
we're drifting away from Jane Austen to Eldritch horror. Yes.
Oh, now we're seeing how I like my
Regency
Austen
Cthulhu coming soon from Chaosium.
Indeed.
And London, we're
What a
playing,
connection.
right? Let's do this. We're
I'm
doing
down.
it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rival monkey.
No way! No way!
A
Wait,
monkey
wait,
in a
what?
splendid full suit arrives at the party. How does the host react? She's mad. This is the rival monkey. With and unlike her monkey, who's just like her monkey, like caregiver, like pet, or companion animal, I should. They both, of course, have invested in extremely impressive headpieces.
Mhm.
This monkey has committed more to remarkably elegant footwear, which is a true technical marvel, considering, right, like monkey feet not working quite like human
Oh.
feet. But it is uncannily graceful. This and it's making bows. It's clearly much more highly socialized than the hostess's monkey, and so her face just turns into a mask. I think maybe a string of her lute kind of pops on stage as she arrives.
Oh.
Or as this monkey arrives.
Like the tension just went up, like her tension just went into the strings, tightened them, and it popped.
Yeah. And this monkey is not the monkey is like a professional monkey as opposed to the amateur monkey that lives here. And so has this like full entourage kind of cortege coming in with them. What is happening? I don't even know. London, an uninvited guest arrives. Why are they here? And is it another monkey? No.
It is not. It is the other monkey's sort of like owner, So this is the rival monkey's patron, which is that's like a book
Theater
title.
manager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the other monkey's manager comes in, right? Thought that monkey had cool shoes. This person has the coolest shoes. It's almost like, imagine kind of like a disco ball, but combine that with time period appropriate shoes. I know it doesn't sound right, but that's what's going on.
I mean,
That
red
sounds so
bottoms are
right.
canonical in this period for men and women.
So well, there you go.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
what you're kind of seeing, and it's the kind of thing that's meant to draw all attention to the feet once they arrive, in hopes to take attention from our very own host here. So that's what's going on. And I just start playing harder. I'm freaking out now. I don't have any treats. There's drama. I'm not built for drama. I just want to play music.
Yeah, some shapely calves leading up from the shoes.
Not looking.
Hair looking like a piece of ham instead.
I am snapping strings at this point.
Oh man.
KP, you have been introduced to someone who you do not want to dance with. How do you beg your pardon and leave? Not the ball, but the conversation, the exchange.
Oh boy. I think just like any other thing, he's just he's perplexed. But as all artists tend to be misunderstood, his silence and the continued eagle-eyed stare feels like they're being assessed at a soul level, like looked into and made uncomfortable at a certain point, and then they just kind of peter off because they're just like, oh, this is an awkward and weird situation, whereas the guy is just like, I wonder what flavor this punch is.
I love that no matter how weird this gets, you are an impenetrable bubble of...
He's in his own little world. To him, the monkeys are just players in this play that is happening in front of him, and in his mind, this is just adding to the color of the canvas of the world that he's observing on.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, to him, this is just more proof that he can then bring to the host, going, see, visuals are more interesting than audio.
This is going to make an amazing epic painting in the Royal Gallery.
Yeah.
But to him, this is all inspiration, and the new rival monkey is just him going,
This is material.
brava. So there you go.
Emily, how does the host make you feel awkward?
So in the midst of this, as the rivals come in, who she's just not, at first she's like, you can see her have this moment like, this person's uninvited. They're clearly here to antagonize me. How do I react? But she has this moment where she pauses, brings herself together, looks calm, walks over to greet him and starts gathering people. And unfortunately, I am part of the coterie that she's now gathering to go and talk to this new arrival. And she is greeting them. I'm introduced as a protege, which I didn't know. I don't know what I'm a protege for, but we'll see.
How old are you? Are you protege age?
Yeah, let's like make me like appropriately but newly out. Oh, actually, no, make me a little bit out in society, a little bit. I've been on the shelf a bit, so I think it's like she can make when people start to be like, oh, you can be a project now. You're not getting married. Like, you need to serve some function here. You're not part of the marriage market. Amuse me.
Ooh.
T.
Indeed.
I'm thinking sort of like a Jane Fairfax, Mrs. Elton type moment of like, project. I have plans for you.
Oh boy.
I want to see London answer this. London, so I'm going to pass. There is someone at this ball you love secretly. Who is it?
I don't even know if I can even say this. The reason I've been working so hard at my viol, I'm in love with our host. I feed the monkey. I make sure it has treats. I practice at all hours of the night in order to perfect my musical skills in hopes that I can craft a love song so that I can win her over. I want to wrap my arms around that very treacherous shoulder piece and lay my head upon it and smell those sweet sausages that rest in her hair. I'm secretly writing a song that I will debut at the end of tonight, where I will confess my love in musical nonverbal form. But she'll understand. She always understands.
Communication between you two. The language of your love.
Yes.
Ah, how poetic.
I love you people so much. KP, who does the host dance with and what is the dance? What does it look like?
I think our host, being the gracious host that they are, would go up and, despite their annoyance, despite their rivalry, would offer a dance to the rival monkey and would ask them to see. This is the moment, actually, I think, rather than out of genuine care, genuine concern, genuine want to socialize with this creature, it is more to humiliate, to show their lack of grace, perhaps, to see how well trained they are in the social circle of our times. And I think that would be what they would try to dance with. And to them, it's just her like leaning down, offering and holding the monkey's hands, the monkey's hands outstretched like so, and just waltzing around and trying not to step on each other's feet. Her with her puffed out shoulders and sausage links preventing her from properly leaning forward, while the monkey with his giant feet, and they're in the shoe, right? They're in the
They are very finely shod.
They're very finely shod feet, trying not to step on our fair host. And you see this, well, I guess one can call it dance in some form. And indeed, that is what happens.
That is epic. Oh my gosh. And we've reached the crisis moment. The host is insulted. Emily, how do you react?
Well, at first, it was like it was happening in slow motion as we were going up to the insults. Because as you know, I had noticed, I was working very hard to not notice her monkey go and eat part of her headdress, like off in the corner. And in not noticing and trying to like give myself deniability, I kept an eye on where the monkey is. So her monkey is seeing this, drops what it was eating, and just is like, has this like a big expression like, what is this? So I watch as the monkey goes along the side of the crowd, climbs a little bit on the sconces and things to make its way over, and gets into this position over this hanging where it can just drop down right next to them. And the monkey lets forth this territorial like call and pushes our host away from the other monkey, and then starts dancing with the other monkey. And and my reaction is, one, I saw this coming, so I've just been sort of fascinated by this. Two, my surefire plan to not get drunk has failed. And also, screw it at this point, like, I'm trying to keep it together. I'm just clapping. This is amazing. I am just like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I have no self-control anymore. I am just on the floor laughing. Our host has been insulted, and hopefully they won't notice me about to pass out, holding onto furniture, just losing it.
Wow.
So meanwhile, I am slipping over to near the entrance where there, are a bunch of like pages in attendance, like kind of waiting to do stuff. And I slip one a couple of shillings and like say, do you have any paper, anything? And like get a kind of greasy scrap of paper and like scribble like the T all over it, fold it up and say like, and like address it and say, get it to the papers now. Like, so it will be everywhere come morning. London,
All right.
what do you do?
So I need a little clarifying question
Yes.
from Emily. So the monkey sort of pushed the host out of the way,
Right.
and took the place of the host so they could dance with the other
Oh
monkey.
yeah, like the monkey cut in for the other monkey. There was a suspicion. I thought that maybe it's like, why is my person being with this other monkey replacing me? No,
Mm-mm.
it's like, no, that's my monkey. They're like,
Right.
those shoes. I'm getting, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. I would never want the host to be insulted because obviously I'm never
Right.
the host. I would never wish that
Right.
upon her. But hey, this is an advantageous insult as the monkey throws her away. Spin, spin, spin directly into my arms.
you just happen to be perfectly positioned.
Indeed, there is a vial no more. It's just me. And I say, I must play you a song. I know that your heart must be very tender right now from this betrayal. But my music will soothe your soul. And hopefully you'll forgive me for not bringing the treats for tonight, but that's okay. And I go to the stage. I play this magnificent tune, and it rings throughout the entire ball. Who knows what happens next?
And finally, KP, we pan out to the artist's gaze. How do you react?
I think this is the moment that he's been waiting for the entire night. This cacophony of visual treat, of chaos distilled, yet so elegantly portrayed, so elegantly wrapped up. I think this is that moment where he finally has formulated what that masterpiece that he's been waiting for his entire life to produce has been visualized. The two monkeys curling and then tossing the host being captured at the last moment by the secret lover that has been trying to woo her all night. The viol flying in the air above the lady that is hunched over, trying not to hurl out her guts from the clearly poor planning that she has had this night. And so I think it just distills what to him any party ends up being like, because he's just like, this is just utter chaos. Why am I out of my home? Why am I here? Why am I with these people socializing when I could just be painting? But this is that moment that he realizes this was all worth it. And he cannot wait to create this masterpiece and then rub it in this host's face.
Do you have a working title?
The missing diaphragm.
And
Beautiful.
that is a round of For the Ball, a Descended from the Queen hack inspired by Jane Austen and other women writers. Wow, you guys killed it.
Yes.
You did things I didn't expect. It was amazing. Awesome. Oh my gosh, this was super cool. Thank you guys so much. Do we have it in ourselves to do a Sancho round? How are we doing on time?
Sancho or Smoldering Eyes, depending on which.
I mean, if we did it, we would have to do Sancho just because
Okay.
of the epic
Okay.
nature of
It
who
has to
he
be
is.
Sansa. Yeah.
If we're good, we can keep going. Will work. Thank you guys so much. And I think that in the grand tradition of fantastic actual play, which you may or may not, dear viewer, be familiar with the kind of conventions of actual play, but at the end of these kinds of sessions, we go around and introduce ourselves and tell you where to find more of us doing silly kinds of shenanigans and other cool stuff around the internet. So I'll get us started, and we'll go in the original order. I'm Dr. Emily Friedman at Auburn University, where I am an associate professor of English. I'm an 18th centuryist by training who has gotten pulled into the world, the delightful world of actual play, which is what you've just been seeing, people playing role-playing games online for an audience. So that is one of the things that I am writing and thinking about now. And it's been super fun. And I am the co-designer of this game For the Ball, which we're going to be making available on Roll20 as well as in a printable version on Itch.io and maybe a physical version one of these old days. For the Ball is a Descended from the Queen game. which was originally designed for the Queen, is designed by Alex Roberts. And yes, and is a wonderful game that you should absolutely consider getting. We are using the concept with permission, and from Alex and from Evil Hat Productions, thanks to Creative Commons, which makes everything way more awesome. Emily, take it away.
Hi, I'm Emily Kugler. I am in the English department at Howard University, where I work on issues of race and empire and gender and sexuality with a focus on the long 18th century Britain, which is why I got really geeked out and was like, I'm bringing in people I like from history into this. Will others know what I'm doing? Maybe, but I'll be amused. You can find me on Twitter at EMNK. I'm usually just retweeting the Emily Friedman stuff. You can also find our YouTube channel, Critical Prof, where you can find both our video from last year's Virtual Jane Con, as well as M. Friedman's wonderful series about teaching tabletop role-playing games. And yes, so in addition to my academic writing with M, I have increasingly writing and participating in the world of RPGs. It's like this full circle of childhood and adulthood and professional and personal life just sort of coming together.
Yay! London.
Hi, my name is London Carlisle. I'm a New York-based actor and TTRPG enthusiast, and also an alumni of Auburn University, War Eagle. I play a lot of tabletop role-playing games online, such as with Chaosium, publishers of Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest. I play a lot of games with them. Also with Paizo, creators of Pathfinder and Starfinder, a couple of campaigns with them as well. Where else can you find me? Becca Scott's Good Time Society, play with them a lot, as well as I'm in the cast of the ENnie nominated for Best Podcast, Ain't Slayed Nobody, which is a Call of Cthulhu podcast in the Old West. So yeah, lots of horror-y things is totally my jam. But thank you so much for having me here. It's been a blast getting to play with you all. Thanks.
And you can find him at London Carlisle on Twitter, and I believe that's also your Twitch.
Yes. London Carlisle, but don't Google me or you'll just get train schedules for England.
And KP.
Oh, hello, everybody. My name is KP. I go by KP11 Studios on all your social medias. You can mostly find me unhealthily living on Twitter. Probably not for the best, but you know what? You got to do some stuff to make a living. And so that's where you find me. So come say hi if you're ever on there, on that cesspool. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm just kidding. Don't do it.
There's beautiful photography.
There's a lot of
you can find.
Oh, thank you. But yes, as mentioned, I'm primarily a portrait photographer. I dabble in the nerd space in all sorts of ways. I do actual plays. I'm also in several TTRPG-based actual plays. A little bit on a hiatus right now, but you can find me on shows like our Glenbrook Unhollowed, which is a Tales from the Loop campaign. I'm also in we're starting back up next week, a D&D game called Running Feywild, which is a fun isekai style game where we're a bunch of regular people that suddenly got sucked into our own D&D game, and now we're the characters that we were going to play in that D&D game. So that's a lot of fun. It's on Wednesdays. Come check it out. Soon in September, we're going to be starting up some of the other games that have been going on, which a brand new game of the One Ring campaign. So if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, a Tolkien fan, come check us out there. And then every Friday, for you history buffs out there, we play a what if campaign, a fate campaign called City of Light and Shadows, which is us playing as trained agents, secret agents, undercover agents in 1940 France, in a Nazi-occupied France. So watch us go and punch Nazis on Fridays. That's my favorite pitch for this. If you want us to see us punch a bunch of Nazis and foil their plans,
Always
that's where you want to. Yeah, it's a great way to spend a Friday. is what I like to say. Outside of that, I'm a sensitivity reader and a cultural consultant for various media works. So if you ever would like a good eye and a perspective on how you can best implement various cultures and philosophies into your works, particularly South Asian cultures, well, just come say hi and feel free to reach out. But yeah, I'm just doing too many things, none of them well. But hey,
Oh, you're
you know.
splendid, and I'm so glad you came. Yeah, this is been our very first beta test we are out of alpha, and right after this pre-recording ends, we will go live on our channel to answer further questions that folks have, and we will stick around until we run out of questions. So see you soon. Thank you.